So continuing from the last video, we were talking about this next rectangle. If it is 3 inches by 5 inches, now again, that means we had 3 rows, the 3 inches because they're each an inch, and then we had 5 going across, so there was 5 in each. So Bentley was telling us that what would we use for the formula, Bentley? Right, the mathematician formula is, because we're trying to find the area of this, how many square inches would fit in there. So we would say area equals length times width. Okay, so the area is the length is 5 inches times the width of 3 inches. So area equals, what is 5 times 3, Bentley? Right, 15. Now how do we label that though? Deegan, do you remember how to label that? Right, 15 square inches. If you don't put in the square part, then it's counted wrong because you don't have it labeled correctly. So you have to say 15 square inches. All right. Now, my husband is a contractor, and sometimes he has to lay floor tiles for people. And those don't come in inches. They don't come like that. That would take my husband a really long time, wouldn't it? The tiles he lays are a length of a ruler, so they're called a foot. So we're going to pretend that we are helping my husband figure out if he was laying floor tile for a person that to fit in this rectangle down here. And instead of saying inches, we're saying it's feet. Now this actually isn't 10 feet, is it? Okay, but let's pretend 10 feet by 30 feet. We can still figure out the area of that. We just have to label it differently, don't we? So the area equals length times width. Area equals the length is 30. That means how long. Remember, L stands for the long also. So 30 times the width of 10 feet. So area equals 30 times 10. Who knows what that is? We've done this mental computation before. Let's see. Deegan, what do you think? You're right. It is 300. Now, do we label it 300 square inches? No, because we're not talking inches, we're talking feet. So this time we have to label it 300 square. We still need to do square. And then we say feet. So whenever you have the area, if you're figuring out the area, you need to say it's square and then whatever we are measuring by. So if it's inches or feet, that's how we would label it. Okay, good job, guys. We are now going to move on to lesson 89. Now, in lesson 89, it's pretty simple. It's pretending we're going shopping, and we are going to buy something that costs $33.81. Let's say it's a video game, okay? And then when you're at Walmart, you say, oh, but Mom, I really need a new controller. Mine is broke. Now, I don't know how much they cost. You guys probably know better. But let's pretend it's $182.66. And then, oh my goodness, you see a sale going on. It's the new upgrade PS4 whatever. And let's say that costs $341.73. So you are trying to see, you want to buy all of this. Wow, that's going to cost a lot of money, isn't it? But how would we do that? How would we figure out how much it all costs? So we would want to write down, we need to put them in columns, okay? So you are going to put these amounts, I'm going to move them here, but we're going to put them in columns. Now I like to start with the biggest one. It's just easier for me to do, but you can do it in a number of different ways. But let's start with the biggest one. So if we were going to buy the new PS4, $341.73. And then the controller was $182.66. So I'm just going to go plus $182.66. And then I'm going to go plus the new game, which was $33.81. Okay, I want to add those up. Sorry that it's not showing very well for you guys again. Our document camera is being fussy today. Okay, but so if we're going to add those, is that the way I wrote that? Is that an easy way to add that? No, that's not going to help us add it very well, is it? So we don't want to do it like that. How we do want to do it. All right, so now I wrote it a little bit easier for us to see. We always want to line up the decimal points. Okay? You always want to make sure those points are lined up. And it doesn't matter. Here it's like we have a 0. There's nothing there, and that's okay. We don't need to have that. Do we need to put the dollar sign on each one? Nope. You just need to do it on top and then in your answer, of course. Okay? Where do we start? Hadley, where do we start? Right, we always start over here on the right-hand side, or in this case, the pennies side. Okay? You never want to start in the hundreds column or anywhere. You always want to start here because sometimes we have to change how many pennies we have into dimes, or we have to change the dimes into dollars and so forth. Okay, so we're changing that. You always start on the right-hand side. So, Hadley, what is 3 plus 6 plus 1? Right, 10. So, do we write 10 down here? No, we put the 0 here. We're changing it into dimes now. And we can put the little 1, because we're changing that into 1 dime. Or you can put it up here, whichever works best for you in your head. But then we add those numbers. Wow, 7, 6, 8, and a 1. Okay, that's kind of tricky to add all of that. So what I like to do is I like to maybe see if there's any groups of 10 that I can figure out. Well, none of this equals into 10. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the top 2 and I'll put a little spot over here. That equals 13. And then take the next 2. That equals 9. And we add those 2 numbers. So 3 plus 9 is 12. So we put the 2 here and put the little 1 over here. 1 plus 1 is 2. So all of these numbers added together equals 22. So in that case, we have to put the 2 down here, and then we're changing that into the, over here, into the dollars. Okay? So then we're in the dollars. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. So 1 plus 2 is, we can do that in our head, 3. Plus 3 more is 6. Plus 2 more is 8. Do we have to carry anything over? Do we have to trade it in? Nope. In that example, we just bring down total is 8 and we just put it here. Then we look into the tens. So 4 plus 8 plus 3. Okay, maybe you can do that in your head. Maybe you need to write a little extra problem over here. Let's see, if I want to write an extra problem, can I make any tens groups there? Nope, so I'll just take these first 2. 4 plus 8 is 12, and then plus 3 more. Oh yeah, that is 15, isn't it? Okay, so then I need to put my 5 down here, and this 1, I need to carry it over into the hundreds column. Now remember, you can put it down here or you can put it up here, whichever works for you. All right, 3 plus 1 is 5. Now, is that $55,820? Nope, we forgot. We still need to bring that decimal point down. So if I was going to get that new PS4 and controller and game, it would cost me $558.20. All right. What if we weren't using dollar signs? Okay, what if we just wanted to add 3 numbers? Let's say we wanted to add 125 and we wanted to add 81 and we wanted 307. Okay, now there's no decimal point to line it up. How are we going to write that? Well, you could do it like this, and some people like to write it out that way. I prefer to write it vertically. It helps me to see it better. So I need to go and write those numbers. And I need to make sure that they are all lined up right on the right side. All right? So I put my 125. Then I can put the 81 next, or I could put the next big number like I like to do. So let's put the next big number. I need to make sure my 7 is lined up right there. So then I can put in the 0 and the 3. So 307. And then I have the 81 left. Do I just write that over here? No. Again, I need to have it lined up right on the right side. So the 1 goes there, and then the 8 goes there. So what we're saying, boys and girls, is we're making that column. So we want all the ones, the place value of ones. Remember, this is ones, tens, hundreds. And we need them all lined up correctly. So the ones are lined up here, the tens are in this column, and the hundreds in this column. And if we're going to add them, okay, so we always start on the right-hand side. Just like when we were doing our money problem, we always started here in the pennies. But now we're doing it's not a money problem, we're just lining them up in the ones column. So 5 plus 7 plus 1 is 13, so 3, and then I carry the 1 over here, that's an extra dime. Then 2 plus 0 is 0. Or excuse me, 2 plus 0 is 2. And then add on the 8, that's 10 and 11. So I put the 1 here and I carry the 1 over here. And then 1 plus 3 plus 1 is 5. So 513 would be my answer there. So boys and girls, the thing when you're adding 3 numbers, you need to make sure that they are lined up here on the right-hand side. Or if it's money amounts, make sure the decimal points are lined up. And then always bring your $sign down, right? Okay, so this is pretty easy. It's just making sure you line them up in the correct, making sure it's all lined up correctly, and then adding. And you guys know how to add. So this shouldn't be any problem for you. All right, have fun doing your math.